Says I'm live. Yeah, this is just an impromptu. I don't know how many people will be in and listening. Probably not too many. They're probably over at because Valdez and Kevin are on at the same time. So I know there's a lot of people over there. So I don't expect too many. DJ Moss, what's up? Bishop Red Pill, what's up? So it just decided to just do a quick AMA. Ask me anything. I know I put a couple things up. Erica Badu's um, thing about why people why people can be taken advantage of or why people can be controlled. And I know you know the thing is funny, boy. In the black sector, you can just drop something innocuous and that everybody should just basically agree with, but they're gonna always find some kind of point to argue about. Hey, Artisan, what's up? Oh, thanks, Julian. Appreciate you. So, but I didn't think that what Erica Badu said was anything earth shattering. I just normally people in her position don't come out and say it. That's why I thought it was interesting. Sure, we can talk about it. But the 5%ers is, actually, I've had heard of the 5%ers. You know what? Most 5%ers don't come out and say that, right? They don't explain what the 5%er is. Oh, I'm a 5%er. And that's all they say. They don't really explain it. I didn't know what it was, but I've heard other people say exactly what she said, and from various forces, going all the way back to the Prince by Neo Machiavelli. That's always been the case. The Catholic Church thrived on it. That's how come they didn't want certain people to read, because teach the poor people to read, they're less easy to manipulate. Dave Tower, what's up? Do I believe in God? Okay, well, Ninja Eyes, what is God? What do you think God looks like? Because I'm a Gnostic, sir. So if you know what a black Gnostic is, that is a irrelevant question. Do you know what a black Gnostic is, Ninja Eyes? Ninja's Eye? Which is a dumb question if I wear a name called Black Gnostic. Yeah, they keep it a secret, but when I post something and they come out, they start running their mouths, right? So they expect me to have heard it. I've heard it from more sources, and it was said way well before the Nation of Islam came into existence. It's been around. They didn't come up with it. They put their spin on it. That's all they did. Bernays and Sigmund Freud said that back, in the turn of the 20th century. It's not new. Money is God. Money is not God. You think money is God. The same thing I think of any other vaccine. Would you take it? Would you take it? I am not a virologist, and that's in the purview of Dr. Anwar and Nicole. They're the ones who asked for that, but basically they said the same thing. You shouldn't be the first one to test it because there's never been a vaccine for coronavirus invented yet. So, well then why you ask me? I've said this before. I wouldn't be lined up to take it. Money is paper with value given to it. Money is an accounting system. That's all money is. Money is an accounting system. Anything can pass for money. If you understand what money is, your time and your labor that you exchange it for. Money is not a carrot. Money is an exchange of money is an exchange of value. Every complex society has a form of money. So you guys are just guessing. You guys are just guessing. Money does exist, and money exists just like everything else exists. Just like your buildings exist, just like your paycheck exists. It exists. It exists in a system. What's up, Dead Set? Is it underway? It's just getting started. Has it peaked? No. You guys are asking me questions that you should already know. You guys can read papers just like I do. I've been telling you this stuff for 3 months. You guys should already know. Money, it was metaphysical. Yes, metaphysical. But the thing is, money is cultural. It's an accounting system. Thing is, you got to study. You have to study. You have to study what money and monetary systems are. Why some monetary systems are worth more than others. It's a monetary system. Money is what you decide what you give value to, and it's an accounting system. Probably not. Blazers have a legitimate shot at beating us. Not probably not, especially if homeboy's back is if he's got a fracture in his back. I can tell who the 5%ers aren't. There's so many books on money. They talk about money every day, man. If you play Forex, you know what money is. The Clippers have a better chance than the Lakers. It's hard to tell because after a reboot, you can't tell. It's really up for grabs. These guys were off for 3 or 4 months. It's really up for grabs. Um, basically, there's very little paper money, physical money. Basically, it's mostly electronic. 90, I think it's 96%, 95, 96% of your money is electronic. Election predictions, 50-50. Too early. The Lakers look sloppy. I've watched them a little bit, but the thing is, it's hard to tell exactly how hard they're trying because it just got back there and they're not really in rhythms. That's why it's a 50-50 thing as far as the playoffs. Well, a lot of these guys, man, you know they're there for a paycheck, man. The reason they came back is because they need to get paid. So it's taking a lot of the heart out of the game. There's no fans out there, nobody to play in front of, so it's really kind of hard to evaluate. Because one day the Lakers look really good when they're into it and they're pressing and they're really trying, and then the next time you can see that they're like, we don't really care. Black feminists will make up any reason to do anything, so I don't think anything about it. I don't even think anything about the song WAP. Why would you even care about WAP or who's in it? And they take the slut culture, this hoes. That's what they're talking about. Why would they even care? I certainly don't. Lakers will win the championship. LeBron will do it for Kobe. Perfect NBA. Really, it's you know what? At this point, I've watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched a lot of it because of COVID, and they know what they had to do to actually get this thing back rolling again. and it's like it's not quite wrestling, but it's pretty close. They're all in the same spot. They all party together. Well, they all eat together. They all basically have to interact with each other, and so it's not the same. Uh, it's there mostly for little girls who like that kind of stuff, for their fans. And I didn't think guys were their fans, but the thing is, if guys are talking about it, hey, it gives it more credence. AD just is there for a paycheck, man. It's like everybody else. Because they were talking about not paying the full checks if they didn't get any games. So this is the bailout. The TV wasn't going to pay a full season without, because most of their money is made during the playoffs anyway. So they had to find a way to actually satisfy all these TV contracts to make some money. Anthony Davis is not going to get that in him because he's not built that way. Number one, he's not built that way. He doesn't have that kind of personality. How's the light rail project going out there? Well, they're going to put it in. They're on schedule. They've got most of the track in. So it's I think COVID slowed it down, but they're on schedule. Well, why don't you just tell us what kayfabe is? It's like it's not one of those normal words. Why don't you just give us a definition, or tell us why kayfabe is important? I'm having a hard time getting up for it because I know the backdrop of what they had to do to actually get this stuff played. Just like it's like watching baseball now with no fans. We know that you're doing it for money. Um, you're probably security. You're probably going to need security more than anything else because the more Internet of Things is actually hooked up, the harder it is to actually lock these things down. There's probably going to be more holes and back doors than you can imagine. So they're going to need as many security people as they can because they're going to have all these systems that they have to secure. So coming up, you probably will never, ever, ever not have a job if you're good, because there's always going to be a leak, a bug, or whatever. Um, I mean, I glanced at it, but uh, a lot of your college sports are being canceled, like football. Most of the big um, conferences are canceling football because of COVID. So the NBA bubble. Well, I understand pros because they get a paycheck, and if there's no product, there's no paycheck. Can I do another Ripple coin review? Okay, if I haven't looked at Ripple in a minute, but if I glanced at it, I'll put it up. Not necessarily, but I mean, there's always competing system. XRP is actually designed for the banks. The banks are the ones that are really behind Ripple, so they're trying to replace the banking system, especially the Chinese. Well, they can sue. We'll see how far it goes. If they violated the contract, I don't think they'll get very far. Fortnite trying to sue Apple and Google, that's a long shot. They got more lawyers on the bench than Fortnite probably has. It's not who wins; it's how many rounds do they go. Kayfabe is a portrait stage events within the industry as real or true. Okay, and that is important. Why, Black Sigma? Okay, and that's important. Why? You talking about sports? Oh, okay. And what's the word derived from? They've been doing independent third party via protest voting for a long time. It has an effect on the voting, but um, not as much as you think. You know exactly what's happening, really. Well, you should have a channel, sir, if you know exactly what's happening. What do I think of gematria? What is that? Um, the demographic explosion. If you can look at the population pyramid and tell whether they're in a demographic explosion. They have a high fertility rate, but that's not the demographic explosion. You have to keep these people alive. So they haven't. So whatever their issue is, why they can't keep their babies and their old people alive, is probably the reason that what they're going to have to solve. With if it's sanitation, food, or infrastructure, they'll have to solve those problems, and then you get the demographic explosion. They right now they're pre-industrial. All the shapes are pre-industrial. I think maybe South Africa, perhaps, is the only one that may not be, but the other 53 countries are pre-industrial. You can there is it's very easy to see where the country is pre-industrial or in the exploitive or explosive phase. Probably very little. Probably very little. Trump, as far as if you think about what Trump did with his 4 years, it had a small ripple, but it really what he did affected the economy very little. It still went the direction it was going to go. You wrote in Darth expect to be expunged from the rolls. Okay, heard that. It's got to be probably very little if you talk about the economy, because the economy is so overweighted on stuff that previous administrations have done, that the effect will be very minute. The only thing the COVID has had more of an effect on the economy than Donald Trump. It's important because at this stage in which a lot of our discourse take place is almost if we're speaking a different dialectic than those that represent us. Kayfabe is like, come on, Black Sigma. I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, man. And when I drop the link, you can explain it to me because I have no idea what you're talking about, man. I mean, really don't. If I can understand them, I don't know why you guys can't. They print the stuff every day. They print the stuff every day. If you talk about Kfab, they used to call that double speak, man, from 1984. And what you're talking about, control of industries and consider the outcome. You could have called it fascism. Some people call it state capitalism. There's a whole bunch of names. You can call it corporatism. There's a whole bunch of names. Okay. There's a whole big industry that to make sure that uh, uh, companies, teams, all that kind of stuff do not collaborate, right? Like that to actually fix things, right? You have a whole industry about that. It's not new. So I don't know where the name came from, but the thing is, the phenomenon has been around for a long time and has a whole bunch of names. So you should just use names that people recognize. Because even in the financial literature, which I do read a lot of, Kayfabe is not part of it. Yeah, newspeak. So you guys think of terms. When the term catches on, then I'll pay attention to. But right now, Kayfabe is not really a term that is caught on. Um, it's yeah, it's what's going on in Manosphere, man. When dudes come in, man, and they, you know, the thing is that it when you're tested, that's when you really know who you what you're about. And these dudes are tested because of the women coming back, and they're not what they think they are. They are not what they think they are. It was be one thing if these guys were 20, man. These guys are damn near 40 years old. These guys are damn near 40, and some of them they're damn near 50, and they're talking like they've never had a date before. So which I don't get. So I don't know what's wrong with them. Trying to be fit. Hell, hell, I I was better able to articulate about women when I was 21 than these guys are at 38, man. So I don't get it. I don't get when they get online, I don't get what they're talking about. He's talking about wrestler staying in character outside the wrestling ring. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. People 40 and through 50 calling people old niggas. I don't get that, man. It's like they're young. Who they calling old? People on Social Security? I keep getting that, man. Yeah, these old niggas don't give up power. Dude, these guys, these most of the guys they talk about having power have AARP cards. How much power do they have? Oh, okay. Don't break key. Okay, it's a key fab. Okay, that's a wrestling term. Okay. I mean, simping is one thing, but 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 the thing is, I was in line, man, and this old dude, he was hitting on a chick. He was simping. He was in his late 60s. He was hitting on a chick. He was simping. But man, you could tell the difference. These dudes, I don't think these dudes are simping. I think these dudes are, yeah, lame gate. You ain't shit. Uh, Kamala Harris. The thing is, for Joe Biden to get into the White House is probably a long shot anyway. Um, and the election is not about Kamala Harris because she's not running for president. So, and even if she got to be president, she's what she hasn't been senator long enough to actually know what she's going to do. Because Washington D.C. is a whole different, being in the Oval Office is a whole different story than being a senator. And her being a female president, there's only at this stage of the game, the president can only do so much, right? Your basic thing is, but not wreck the economy, not let Social Security collapse, and not blow up the world with a nuclear bomb. Those are your top three things, okay? In this country, don't don't let the economy collapse. Don't fuck with Social Security, and don't blow up the world. One, two, three. Okay, you have plenty. You got latitude inside of that, but basically, it's very difficult to change the trajectory of a big economy this big. They are lost. They seem lost. They are lost, man. The whole basically normally the environment will change slowly, gradually. COVID just basically evicted all these chicks out of the environment. Now they got to go scramble. Of course they're lost. Guys are lost, much less women. There's a big difference between the Oval Office and being a senator. Okay, she's a politician, but the thing is, at the end of the day, we have no idea what kind of president she's gonna be. Even an experienced president, man. There's very little that you can actually really do. And well, Kamala doesn't fight, so I'm not gonna be up all night. I'm only gonna be a couple hours, man. So I'm getting ready to drop the link. So trust and believe. I will only be up here a couple hours. I'm not gonna be up here all night. I've already done this weekend. I think I've done 15, 16 hours of live stream just this weekend. So I'm not about to be doing a 8 hour tonight. She's there to bring a network. Now, I think I've said that before. Don't just look at her. Look at the network. She all those high value black bourgeoisie that she bring with her. So it's not just women. It's also men too. Nope. It ain't gonna be 4 hours later, man. I'm gonna cut it off. Trust and believe. So I'm gonna drop the link now. You're gonna have to make it quick. And ain't no one. And won't be any one more thing. Trust and believe. Had a long day. Yeah, well, if you caught, because I did almost 9 hours with Shango. I think it was yesterday, and then I backed it up with like 3 hours with Art of Vidmore, and I was on a stream with Ram for about 4 or 5 hours on Friday. So I've done enough. I do a lot. Yeah, it's basically with the advent of technology. Okay, basically the basics do not change. It's your 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 populations or your society is always weighted against what populations that you're next to. If all the population declining at the same time, then it's no big deal. They're all even. But if you have one population that's going through an explosive phase, then that population is set to dominate. Because I think I've showed this before. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, I keep showing them. One day I was just put up a video. In fact, I do have a video up in my Tragedy and Hope where I actually explain this, man. Uh, I mean, I show you guys this all the doggone time. I mean, I actually do. I show you guys this all the time. See if I can find it. I know the other one's on my laptop. I know it's Tragedy and Hope. Which one? Which PowerPoint? That's not it. There it is. That's the one. That is the one. I have shown this many, many times. I will explain it here for the last time. Okay. This is your demographic cycle. The last question: what is a larger buffer class? The black boule is probably the largest buffer class. Most black women are actually ineffectual. They're actually followers. They don't make policy, believe it or not. Okay. Okay. I don't have the pyramids up, but these are the pyramids. This your A B C D and A B C and D cycle, right? pre-industrial, explosive, exploitive, or industrializing, stabilizing, and your D, which is falling. Remember, we just looked at these two, right? The C and the D. Most people, most countries that actually going through the baby mamaism that we talk about, they're trying to stay in this one, the C, right? And the ones that aren't are actually geriatric or old, which you can see in Japan, Korea, and a few others. And their birth rate is the numbers are falling. In other words, that's where you get the extended snow cone shape, right? Those are the three. Even though I don't have the pictures of the pyramids up, okay, uh, those, that's what it looks like. This is the reason that Quigley looked at that you want to keep your numbers up, right? Your explosive cycle, your B cycle, signifies dominance. Okay, when you get technology and a B cycle together, that's dominance. Okay, he went all the way back to the 18. He just did this for Western civilization. Before that, they were all A's. They're all equal, right? As they went into the B cycles, you can see the English, the French, the German, the Soviets, and lastly, that entered the B cycle that you see now. The last person in the B cycle with technology was the Asians, which are the Chinese. Okay, that's why it's important. And if you have a D cycle, remember in the Western Europe and Central Europe, we're going through a decline cycle right now, right in the 2000s, which he predicted. In other words, during the decline cycle, they're going to get swallowed up by whoever's in a B cycle, right? That's why it's important. Okay? Do you get it? Does that make sense? Is Africa on the chart? And no, Africa is not. Okay, brother, truth be told, you answer your own question. Is Africa on this chart? I'm waiting. Is Africa on this chart? Is Africa on this chart? Brother, truth be told, is Africa on this chart? Thank you. I mean, you guys are adults, because Dr. Johnson said I shouldn't anticipate too much, right? But I know you guys can read. I know you guys are adults. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be following my channel. Okay. What's up, Andre? I just went through the cycle. You guys are looking at it right along with me, and you asked me, is Africa on the chart? No, it's not on the chart. And Quigley did this in 1965. This is from 1965. So Africa would not have been on this chart. This is from Tragedy and Hope. Okay. It was written in 1965. This is what he predicted in 1965. But I'm going to drop the link. The other thing that cracked me up is it's funny. I'll show it to you, right? Let me show it to you. The other thing that cracked me up is that I put up something what I thought was a joke, okay, in my community tab, right? Which was I saw this brother. He actually put it up. Where is it? I thought I had it. Oh, it was this one. In the community tab, right? Let me share the screen real quick. And he says, shout out to BGS, Ibmore, right? 85 octanes, ride the bus, drive hoopties. 87 octanes, drive Nissan Altimas. 89 octanes drive Honda Accords and Civics. 92 octanes drive Mercedes-Benz A-Class, and 100 octanes drive Mercedes-Benz wagons and Range Rovers. Okay. And I thought it was funny because I assumed that everybody that follows me knows what the octanes are, and talking about classes of women, right? I get people arguing with me, just different degrees of materialism and debt. Wealth is an illusion when money is debt. Dude, that's not what we're talking about. Lord Fear, really, why is a person's character defined by the car he or she drives? You know, in the beginning, blacks were said to be highly spiritual people, but since intermingling with others, materialism has replaced spirituality. Continue worshiping your golden calf statue. Because I assume people know what I'm talking about. And like Dr. Johnson said, you have to stop assuming. They're trying to make a spiritual argument over. I said, you guys cannot take a joke. I had to literally tell people, I had to literally put up a link to my Octane series so that people will stop putting up stupid stuff in the comments. So, so partially, man, I was irritated today, man, between Erykah Badu and people going all left and right and center and stuff, like trying to argue about this point and that point. And she got it from the Nation of Islam and the 5%ers. She never said where she got it. Somebody asked her a question. They were interviewing about a movie that she made with this other co-host. And the lady asked her a question about, because she was a psychic, and she was asking, why are people so gullible when it comes to people that have knowledge, right? And she basically said that most people, 85% of people, want to follow, and so they're willing to believe anything, or willing to believe people that seem to know what they're talking about. And then she went to the 10% that take advantage of it or make money from it, and the 5% that watch. And I just posted that, man. People just was zoop, 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 cussing her out like she stole somebody's idea or anything like that. She never said that it was her original idea. She said that there's wisdom out there, that says this. That's all she said. And people went freaking left. I said, yeah. I said, Negroes will argue over anything. Yeah, but money is the root to all evil. No, the love of money, not the money itself. The love of mammon, which is power and control. The love of money is the root to all evil. It's not the love of. It's the love of. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what she's part of, because I didn't even know that's what the 5%ers mean until people actually said it, right? Which doesn't matter. This is old wisdom. They just reinterpreted the same thing. Okay. This stuff has been around for a long time. You go back to the Illuminati, right? The Illumin ones, right? Coming out of high masonry. Same shit. Okay? Same shit. The Jews called the 85% or 80%, whatever, they call them goyim, which is cattle. Same shit. Same shit. Let me drop the link, before we get too late in, because I am not staying here all night. So y'all got something to say, I'm going to let you say it. The 5%ers decimated ideas. You know what? They say it. The thing is that they say it. They talk about it. They say I'm one of them, but do they actually put that stuff into action? If you're the watchers and you're supposed to be keeping an eye on everything and know everything and be studying everything, then those 5%ers should be doing basically the same thing I'm doing. In other words, how come I feel by myself if there's a whole nation of people that are doing the exact same thing I'm doing?
What's good?
Bishop, what's going on?
Not much. I'm enjoying what you're saying, man.
Because basically, if there's a whole bunch of 5%ers out there and they're doing what I'm doing, yeah. Why do I feel?
True.
Why do I feel alone?
That's real right there.
But well, that's because you broke kayfabe.
I broke kayfabe.
You broke kayfabe, man. You're supposed to keep the act on. You're supposed to keep the act going when you out the ring.
Why did he just define what kayfabe is?
I was going to tell you what kayfabe. Kayfabe is an old wrestling term when wrestling became choreographed.
Okay.
Kayfabe means storyline.
Okay.
The character, stay in character. If you break kayfabe, you're breaking character. Like, good example.
Mm-hmm.
When Bret Hart had the Montreal Screwjob, and Vince McMahon just said ring the bell, they broke kayfabe because it was they broke out of character. They broke the story.
Okay.
So anytime you might hear me and Ern or Josh talk about, man, she broke kayfabe. She went out of pocket. That's what it basically means. It's like all kinds of terms, some little like smart mark terms, even though smart mark means, a smart fan or something.
Oh yeah.
So he's trying to use terminology that a lot of people may not know to make himself sound smarter, or telling a joke, or to tell a joke.
Okay, I mean, everybody doesn't know every inside term. That's why I said define it.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
if you, yeah, I know. You go
Hey,
Google
BJ,
it.
what's going on, man?
You could have
Hey,
just said something. Go ahead.
now I just want to jump in real quick and say this to you, and I want to shout out to my girl Nicole Ali
Mm.
because you guys are sleeping on her. When she put out that Mouse Utopia video, what was one of the reasons why the male mice argue, fight?
Over women, empower, basically control, and women. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why do men fight wars?
In the control that the control that the mice fight over, she said that the younger mice will come into the spaces where the older mice are and fight them for their position.
Yeah. Because when all the positions are actually filled.
They're all filled, and that's what these fantastic niggas, that nigga my age, the fuck you up in here running your mouth by some old niggas. Nigga, you old.
Like, how old is Fantastic?
He's
30.
almost close to 40.
He's 38 or 39.
I'm 38. Like I'm 38, and you're not.
Yeah, he's the same age as us, Charles. He's 38.
I'm aging gracefully. Shit, fuck it. I like getting older. As long as I stay in shape.
It's not a matter.
As I stay in shape and make money.
It's not a matter of being what age you are, but the thing is, you're trying to portray like you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I call it the curse of immaturity. Like, we want to stay young and relevant and fresh. I'm sorry, I love that I turned 30. I'm gonna love when I turn 40. What the world? I don't want to be no kid. Like,
well, you gotta understand, what does his name originate from?
No, yeah,
I know where you had it with this.
Yeah,
I mean, he really thinks he's the smartest motherfucker in the Marvel universe, but he has proven himself to be a dumbass countless times.
Has he even read a Fantastic Four comic?
Do you know what a Fantastic Four comic is really about?
What I'm saying.
Do you know
has he even read one?
Probably not. I mean, the Fantastic Four comic book is about something. The Fantastic Four comic book is about what a lot of these niggas are against. You know what it is? It's about family.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the first family of comics for a reason. They talk about family. They have all these issues in their family, but they still manage to keep working on as a family.
You want to hear something funny, Charles? Someone just revealed that he has an issue with his pops, and he was crying on air about how his pops was had choked him or something. Oh. And I'm like, you still cry about that? I'm like, what the world is wrong with these people? Like, you bring your issues online, not resolved, but you want to sit here and teach people.
Well, my father calls me a motherfucker so much it's a term of endearment.
Hey, but MOT is his family though. That's why they going on a tour. Him and MOT is going on a tour. That's why they family.
Okay, good. They need to go on a tour.
Well, they need to stay off our channels though, because they love coming over here, stir up some junk, and then want to run over to their channels and say we're doing an after show.
But you know why they're trying to get the subscribers? It's all a game. Like I told Smooth.
It is.
I told him, I was like, man, all these guys that's coming in the Manosphere trying to get their numbers up, they coming in here to start fights. They're coming on other people's channel, trying to promote their channels and, trying to do it on the low to the point where they just get out in the open with it. It's like, dude, if you're coming on here saying something relevant, I understand. Let's talk. But if you're coming on here with the bull crap and, my ideology is bigger than yours and I'm smarter than you, man, get the hell on with that.
Come
on, man.
If it's smarter than mine and you're more intelligent, you have more information, put it out there. Let your work speak for itself.
Not everybody knows everything. I mean, if you
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
can
can
barely hear you, but you got to speak up.
Yo,
Somebody's speaking though right now, sir. So
all right.
just wait a second, and then you can jump in. Go ahead. Who was speaking?
Charles was.
Go ahead, Charles. Finish what you're saying. Charles,
I was going to say it really quickly. I was going to say not everything knows everybody. That's why so many people who are multifaceted, you know, you have like Nicole Ali, who's a scientist. You have other brothers who are nurses. You have brothers who are police officers, different walks of life to learn something that you didn't. If you don't get something out of that, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, you can't, basically, the trick is to knowledge. The more you know, the more that you don't know. And that's the trick to knowledge. Go ahead, James.
I just wanted to say, man, salute to everybody on the panel, salute to everybody in the chat. Everything you talk about is legit because I work in a hospital and I also work inside of a grocery store, and you be talking about automation, and you was talking about the COVID too. So I see these things firsthand, and I actually got a video up because I do frequent Underrated Darkness channel.
Okay.
And I was on there and I showed that I work at a hospital. I turned my camera on and I showed the scenery. You know what I'm saying? And I got a new video up right now where I showed my ID badge. I was going to work and there was a dude on drugs and shit. And he was spinning in circles and like, you know what I mean? Like, so why are these dudes coming at you and they don't have no numbers? They don't post no videos. They don't post no data. They don't even post their picture on their on the screen when they come up. So
they got daddy.
It's like this nonsense, man. I just wanted to say that.
I'm saying if your information is superior, it'll stand out, man.
They never did it. They never did it since you. They never did it since you had the Coliseum. They never did it, and this was years ago, and they still come in with the same rhetoric. So I don't know why you're giving these dudes validation, man. It's pointless.
That's what I say.
It keeps you sharp, though.
It keeps you sharp.
Right.
What trolls?
Yeah, trolls.
I mean, basically, it makes me more tired than anything because I mean, my subs, man. Believe it or not, man, the subs that actually follow me keep me sharp because they actually follow the links and read the shit. And if I'm wrong, trust and believe, I will get a comment the next day. Well, BGS, you missed the point on paragraph 5, subsection 2, the second half of the sentence. Okay, they will do that kind of stuff, so they keep me sharp.
It's air signs. We have to take a break from stuff because they'll sap our whole energy out. You be sitting there, you be trying to talk logic to them, and they keep spewing some foolishness. You be like, oh God, I need to go take a nap. Like literally.
Not just without air, there can be no fire. I'm a fire sign. I take naps all the time.
Yeah, but you want to burn stuff
but
up.
James, type your. The pattern is full, folks. The most we can hold is 10. So you're trying again, and you're looking at the screen. Oh, we got 10. So if you really have something to really say, talk to me. Put yourself in the chat, and I'll see what I can do. Swap people out. All right. But James, type something in the chat, so I'll give you a wrench. You can actually go ahead and post your links for your videos.
I just want.
All right, man. I'm gonna drop down, man, so somebody else could come on the panel too. You know what I mean?
Okay. Put your name in the chat so I can mod you up so you can drop your links.
I just want to say, Erica Badu.
All right.
Erica Badu has been talking in 5% of concepts since 1996 when her first album came out.
That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, that's like old.
Yeah.
That's old. In fact, she was with Jay Electronica and had a child with them. And I think they still have some type of relationship, co-parenting or whatever. And he's a deep dude, and he's a 5%er.
Okay.
Also, the geeks seem to begrudge you for actually having a sense of humor. And that's
I don't get that, man. It's like
and that's And that's one of your saving graces, right? Keeping you from complete nerdland.
Yeah.
Because you can laugh. You laugh all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I put some stuff. Yeah, they want to go. When I go serious, man, I'm too dark. When I tell a joke, then they want to go. Oh, now you want to go to the existential meaning of the universe. All of a sudden,
yeah, they like playing that game with us. Because once you being light and nice with them, also they like, you're too goofy. And then you go too far, like, oh my god, you're dark. What's wrong with you people? You're crazy. And it's like, what you want me to be? You want me to be super extreme? We trying to be balanced with you. Because the Gemini can go very extreme. Y'all be like, what the world is wrong with you people? You people crazy. Like, no, we ain't crazy. We're trying to be cool with you.
I swear to God, the funniest shit I heard yesterday when I was on Art of Itmore's channel, well, by the grace of God, my ex is still struggling. Oh my God, that shit had me on the floor. I swear to God.
You what? What did you say?
I said, when he said the Corey Holcomb joke, by the grace of God, my ex is still struggling.
Okay.
We're playing the damn game. I couldn't even keep my composure anymore.
All the shit you talk, blaming it on me, but now that I'm not around, you're still struggling.
I mean, shit. That shit to me was like somebody said Thundercats ho by the Paul Grayskull.
Yeah. What's up, Andre? I just want to say about the 5%. If y'all out there, y'all observers, man, you guys watch everything, study everything. Hell, shit, I'm setting up a flare, man. I need some fucking help, man. You guys need to come off the bench.
They ain't coming out. No, they ain't coming out. Look,
you guys argue. You guys on the corner spouting your stuff with all your knowledge, man. I need some help. Help me digest some of this stuff.
I low key. Go ahead.
They ain't got no internet, man. Like BGS. I'm gonna say this right because I met Erica, right? And it's certain people. You meet certain people. They got that vibe about them or whatever, right? And you know them women when you look at them. Right, they got this shit about them where you got to get your shit together because they gonna do some shit to you. You got to get the fuck out of there because she just got that vibe about her. She can say anything, and motherfuckers are just, if you ain't strong mentally, she's just doing dumb shit.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like one of them type of people, and it's not really about a look. It's just
a spirit, a vibe. Yeah, she's a renegade. She got a renegade spirit.
Man, she can look at you and say it softly, and a motherfucker jump out the window or some shit. Like I call her Rathamon on Conan when he told the little white chick to come to him.
And she leaped off the cliff. Yeah,
that's what she got going on with her. She really deep into that shit. And people don't believe it. A lot of people don't. They don't believe in that. They don't think it's a real thing until they actually get into it.
She got Jedi mind powers. Huh?
Jedi mind power and Jedi pussy power. Man.
Yeah, every dude she messed with, they kind of lose it a little bit.
Yeah, they do. I'm like they was already there. She just pushed them over the edge.
They have their own. They have their own little network.
Now I know people that hung out with her too. I mean, literally hung out with her. Okay, and they was like, I had to get away from her. She was sucking to me like a siren.
If you're susceptible to it, any woman can. Women's game is find out who's susceptible to their game.
True, that's true,
and that's the whole thing. If you're susceptible to it, to what they're spitting, they'll suck you in.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you see that comment I already dropped on it?
Huh? Comment already dropped on.
No, I said comment already dropped some knowledge about that. He's like, you gotta watch her, man.
Yeah, nigga, he went from her to Tiffany Haddish. I think that's an L. You took an L on
that. Hey. Tiffany Haddish looks like a very jolly George Foreman. Leave her alone.
That's the kind of women he likes, man. Ain't no wrong with it. If you should be used to it, man.
So BGS.
Yeah.
How would you describe Erica? Pretty much the relationships that Erica has had, and when you use Jungian psychology to analyze it.
If I use Jungian psychology to analyze her, she would. Erykah Badu kind of reminds me of a freaking Aquarius. just really way out there. So I would love to see. I haven't looked at her chart. Well, not an airhead, but I'm saying is it really deep original knowledge, and they really strange ideas. So I don't know what her sign is, but she kind of reminds me of that.
She's a Pisces.
She Pisces. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, Pisces are really all the Pisces I've ever met are really creative. Yeah, they're really creative when they're on their positive side. When they flip,
it's
some evil
totally different.
Motherfuckers. Yeah,
they some evil motherfuckers. How do I know? Both my parents are Pisces.
Yeah,
and they have to dig into your emotions for it too.
They already got it.
Yeah, so and Pisces really like way out ideas like Aquarius do. They really like those. They love. They don't come up with it, but they love to feed off of it.
And I'll call you a motherfucker in a minute.
Yeah, well, if that fish flips, yeah.
Nervously laughs in Piscean.
So what?
I said nervously laughs in Piscean.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Are you Pisces? You're Pisces? Yeah, well, yeah. I'm one of my best friends. He was Pisces. Actually, he was actually a amateur film producer and film director and a musician. So, and we used to sit there coming up with scripts. In fact, I think we had 2 or 3 of our scripts stolen. I wanted to say that I was looking at a book. I want to tell Kendra, I was looking at a book today that just came out with a different format, with the titles changed, but the premise it was exactly the one she did with she used to read during story time. So I think somebody bit her style and they made a book out of it. They just changed the format a little bit. She changed the names and changed some of the world a little bit. But what she was talking about, the idea that she was talking about, and some white chick actually made that into a book.
Look at BGS using the old slang terminology, biting and shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm old, nigga.
You old nigga. We'll never let you forget. Niggas will never let you forget. You old ass nigga. You hope to be an old ass nigga.
But my thing is,
hope to be an older ass nigga.
But my thing is, like, you 50. How you call other people old?
Because they don't think of themselves as old. I said, what's old? 80?
You know what it is? They don't have no kids. That's
true. That's true.
I'm starting to really believe that now. That whole concept about niggas don't have kids, they miss their time of doing that. They'll start thinking they're young forever, and I'm like, no, you're not young.
What I'm saying is, can you fully develop without having children, without having not being a long-term relationship? Yes, you can. It takes a lot more work.
Yeah,
but you can. But the thing is, it's really in your face when you have a child, you have a long-term relationship, because you can't go anywhere. It makes it will force you to do it.
Yeah.
When was the last time I shot a basketball? It's got to be Dusty. It's got to be like 8 months. It's the last time I shot a basketball. And trust and believe, Dusty, it wasn't pretty when I did it.
When you said when he just said you can't go anywhere, doesn't that sound like prison?
Right.
Basically, you can go someplace, but you got to carry that ball and chain with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, it's not for it's not for everybody. Like, I was doing something. Like, I did something on my channel, BGS. Like, when you did the thing about the Korea thing.
Yeah.
Right. I pulled some stuff. We got some stuff over here.
Okay.
We got people actually talking, like, they got like Asian people actually talking, so you got to read the subtitles. You don't read, right?
Okay, and especially not subtitles. Oh my God,
subtitles, right? So
you telling niggas to read? Wait a minute.
Yeah. So what I did.
Somebody says drop the link, old nigga.
Valdez.
Yeah. I thought you were still on, man.
He just got off.
Oh, he just got off. Okay.
So what I did.
Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, so what I did was I was just talking about, because the thing about people have these misconceptions about certain things that they think is going to happen when they go or they explore certain options outside of where they at, and they don't know, right? So if I say something, right, nigga, you just not okay, so I'm gonna let the people that the society's built off of have a conversation with you, and I'm just gonna react like everybody else that's watching. And let them tell you, but you got to read these subtitles because they're talking in a different language that I understand. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did it on the hostess bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just to make it short, where the chicks go, the dudes talk to the chicks.
So are you modded? So if you're talking about it, you should go ahead and drop the link so people can see it.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
modded? Are you modded? If you're not modded, type yourself. I don't know if you're modded or not. So you should be modded.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I did was like, and I watched it already, but I just put it out there. And the dudes get paid more, right? To be host.
Okay.
Right? To do the same thing the chicks doing, but for women.
Okay.
Right? So here's the funny part. The men that pay all this money, because the top hostess or the woman that sits there and talk, she make about 40 grand a month.
Okay. A month. Okay.
A month, right?
Yeah.
The top host, like, and he's not the host like in Japan or whatever. He's just in that city, like in Shinjuku. He makes $180,000 a month.
Okay, so he's the Japanese gigolo, basically.
Right. He's the gigolo, but
where do I sign?
Yeah, they asked him, right? They sat up there and they asked him, he's a pookie, right? Because he said he couldn't even get into high school where you just sign your name on the thing. He still couldn't, right? So they asked him who's his major, like the people that come see him, right? And he says it's college students, females, and it's chicks that work, that's hostess or work in the brothels, right? And then I thought about it. I said, damn, that's crazy, right? So I thought about it. I said, oh, it's just a big ass circle when you think about it, right? So the CEO that pays the $40,000 chick, for her to make him feel like he's the dude, right? She wants to feel like she's special, so she goes pays him, the other dude, like the other dude. So by proxy, it's still a man paying a man to keep the society going. Everybody knows their place. Right? If you really think about it, if you really understand it. So if you think that going somewhere else is going to bring you up in standing at the end of the day, depending on whatever the economics is, or is it really the materialism of it? Or is it your place in the society where you still got to compete against other groups of men?
It's probably a little both. It's society means more than the money, and how you're supposed to run it. It's culture that actually matters, which is what I was trying to show with the difference between where out of wedlock births are actually allowed and promoted, or at least allowed, versus the places where they weren't.
Exactly.
And, that's what I was trying to show.
That shit is so groundbreaking.
And the consequences that they have to pay for making those decisions. That's what I was trying to show.
Man, that shit is so groundbreaking. It's going to cause me to drink.
What's groundbreaking?
Man, you go drink anyway.
No,
right.
well, I'm off, so I'm back. I mean that VSOP is like twerking in front of me, so you know.
But drop the link, because I got it. Japan is one of the countries I have to do, because the next one I'm gonna do is Greece, because Greece is part of the EU, and it's not an Asian country, but Greece's out of wedlock rate is like 9%. And before, a couple years ago, it was like maybe 5 or 6. So we had to find, so I'm going to find out why in an EU country where out of wedlock birth in the social system allows for it, how come Greece is so low, and how come they have the same decline in birth rate, the same decline in population shape that everybody else does.
It might be because of they don't. I'm like, it's not. It's like because the next thing I was going to do was talk about like I was going to go with India next.
India is
with that. What is that? How they make people get married before?
But India is not. India is still in. When that quasi phase where they're only quasi industrialized. In other words, the infrastructure is not quite there for India. So in other words, they're not completely, as far as the 1 point some odd billion people, not completely industrialized. So they're an odd case. So they had a wedlock birth rate. It's not bad, but it's not down in the 2-3% like everybody else. Like the Asian countries are extreme. I think Korea and Japan are like 2% out of wedlock birth rate, which is extremely low. It's Japan, it's Korea, and it's Singapore that have the lowest out of wedlock birth rates on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, they'll whoop your ass if you try to do something. So
well, what I'm saying is, the thing is, we have to find out why. Really, it's not really. It's one, showing the differences in them, and it's two, showing the outcomes if you do decide to do that, because there's a very specific reason. Because Colombia, Costa Rica, Chile, they just recently started doing this. They weren't doing this like in the 50s or the 40s or the 60s. They started doing this in the 2000s. So it's really very recent.
You know what? I'm starting to believe that feminism is like Cobra. Like, it's like a terrorist organization that's spreading worldwide.
It's not okay. Say if you get an infestation of rats or ants or cockroaches, right?
If it's rats, they can keep the house.
Basically, what I'm saying is it because of the roaches and rats? Is because the environment that feeds them?
It's the environment that feeds them.
Feminism is a product of the environment. They're an effect. They're not a cause. People trying to make it a cause. And I found out long ago, feminism was not even a thing before the Industrial Revolution. Wasn't even, in other words, suffragism and all that kind of stuff wasn't even a thing before the Industrial Revolution. So basically, so as women made more money, as the countries made more money, feminism and all the other kind of stuff started to rise up. Go ahead.
I need more rights.
But I got a question.
Bitch, you gonna fight this war? No. Yeah. Okay, I'll get back in the kitchen.
So even Japan and Korea going through feminism, there's certain benefits. Like, the reason that the out of wedlock birth rate is so low is because basically they made decisions that, okay, bitch, you can have the baby out of wedlock, but guess what we're not gonna do? You're gonna get shunned and you're not gonna get supported. You're on your own.
Yeah. And I say because when I was looking at that, like when I watched that video, and then I went and I just started looking back at it, you know what I'm saying? It looked just in the United States by itself. You talk the suffrages and stuff. If you notice, the rise in feminism always would happen or be pushed right after a war.
Not necessarily. No. I mean, in fact, the feminism and suffragism didn't start in America. It started in Scotland with the women in the factories.
Right.
So it wasn't after a war.
Well, what about the I remember it was I guess it was it after the Civil War, and then it was like the main person.
Actually, suffragism was before the Civil War.
Before the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was like what in the 14s?
Talking about in the United States.
Yeah,
in the 1850s.
1850s, right?
Yeah, the war wasn't until 1861.
1860, and then so it started in 1850. So basically, it went hand in hand, like before, and then I guess the major push. After?
I mean, the opportunity to make a bigger push is because of the black vote.
Yeah, that's it. With like
so, in other words, that they had the environment changed enough to where they could actually make a bigger push. But the idea and the push actually started well before the Civil War. But America went through a whole bunch of wars, man. From 1750 to 1860 something. They were in just every 5 years you're in a war.
Was it the Texas? Was it
the Mexican-American War was in the 1850s. You had the French-American War. You had the British. They fought the British like a couple times. There was always different battles going on. They fought Spain to drive them out of Florida. Yeah. They fought the French to drive them out of the French and the Spanish to drive them out of the southern United States. They were fighting the Indians. They would just fight. They were fighting a whole bunch of people. They never stopped.
Yeah, it was Louisiana and Louisiana Purchase and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
basically we're niggas on Dales.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but that's why I love the book. I love the book, The African Slave Coast, because he is literally going through all of that, man. I mean, all of that to the end, the detail about how they calculated how much they how much they could pay for a slave, how much they could work him, and how long he would actually last or live, to where he can actually turn a profit over him, on him. Like a slave will last like 5 or 6 years before you worked him to death, right?
Yeah,
You could actually borrow the money, buy the slaves, buy the land, work him wherever you're going to work him. You'd actually start to pay off your loans, start turning the profit within 3 years. You live another 3 years, you have another profit. You can go out and redo it. Basically, you'd be free and clear within 3 or 4 years. The slave is going to be dead in 5 or 6 years. But the thing is, he'll die. You can actually replace him with somebody else and basically continue. And you can make money. They had it calculated like that.
Yeah.
What's that shit they have? What's that list they have for cars? They had a fucking, what was that, Susie or Kelly Blue Book?
They literally had a Kelly Blue Book for slaves. Yes, they did.
Kelly Blue Book.
Wow.
God damn.
In fact, they did by where he came from, the skills that he had, because that's why I love this book, man. I have to, I've been listening to it. Gonna have to go back and actually read it and mark it up and start pulling different sections from it. That's why they had they kidnapped specific slaves from specific regions and bought them from specific regions because they had skills like how to grow tobacco, how to grow rice, how to grow cotton, how to grow sugarcane, right? So you would actually get a specific slave from a specific region to actually match him up with the crop that you're trying to grow. So they have it down to that kind of level.
I have a question.
You're talking about a real Willie Lynch letter.
Not really. It's not really a Willie Lynch letter. It's more like what we have now. You basically have a mechanization where it's specialized to the point. Capitalists has specialized it to the point where you could actually calculate your profit, loss, and return, and what you actually go to a bank with your plan and says, "I'm gonna buy this kind of. I got this kind of land. I'm going to this kind of crop. I'm gonna get this kind of slave." And you can actually slaves were actually worth more than money at the time. Slaves were actually real money at the time. But Claude Anderson said the same thing. Go ahead.
What was the name of the book?
The African Slave Coast, which I think the price doubled, man. Yeah. When I first bought it, they call it the BGS effect now.
Yeah. Oh, shit,
every time I mention a book, the price goes up.
Audible listening to your shit like, he mentioned that shit, put $50 more to that shit.
Yeah, because the price doubled. Because when I bought when I got the book, I think on Kindle, I think it was it $17, something like $15, $17. I think it's in the 30s now. So
yeah,
I need to write a book for $50.
And the hardcover, you can't buy the hard. I think they don't have a paperback. The hardcover, I think when I first looked at it, was in the 30s, and now I think it's almost $100 for the hardcover, hard copy. I think I'm not sure, but when I bought it, it was much lower. Man Not was fairly cheap. When I first got it, right, like $15 for the Kindle. It's in the 30s now.
Yeah, so, it's up there now.
Yeah, BGS.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah,
it's $100. Yeah, it's still $100.
Hey, man. What you old niggas talking about in here?
I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
Hey, we trying to figure out how to get some young bitches, man.
Right.
Still some young bitches from you street niggas, man.
We was talking about your girl Erykah Badu.
Hey, man,
we just over here talking about the slavery days.
I mean, well, basically, she was saying. She was saying, because she had played in the movie. This is like I heard the clip, and it took me about 30 minutes. I had to find the clip. I think I saw it on Facebook. I said what she said was accurate, so I actually went back and I was trying to find it. I actually found it on YouTube, and she was actually interviewing for a movie, right, that she had just done. And the host asked her why, because she actually played a psychic. She said, "Why are people so gullible to people with knowledge?" And she actually explained it. She said 85% of people want to be followers. She said 10 people actually exploit them or actually make money from them. And she said the 5% are the observers, right? And that was actually interesting because I heard that in different forms from other people. So all I did was make that little clip. I didn't say anything in front of it, behind. I just played it. Man, these niggas went all over the place with this shit. I said, "Oh God." I said, she said something that's true. Can you either say yes, I agree, or I don't agree? But niggas trying to prophesizing and she don't know this and she stole this from somebody. She never said she came up with it.
But my brother, you must understand that when we prophesize, like my left goddamn hand, that she was wrong when she should have gave those dollars and centrons to a brother owns.
He has to pay homage. That earth has to pay homage to the God, BGS. And that's the problem.
And then they started getting into God. And then they started getting into the 5%. They tried to just touch on the 5% philosophy. I know if I actually asked them, it'd be a lot more complex than that. I said, man, I just played a clip, man. You don't have to get that.
Stop acting like you didn't throw the chair.
But that's
I didn't throw the chair, man. I thought the clip was interesting, man. That's how come I played it.
What she's talking about is the basis of the 5% philosophy.
Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't come. It wasn't an original thought. This stuff has been passed down for a long time. The Illuminati said the same thing, man, years ago in the 16th century.
The truth is going to come from all types of places. It's going to sound the same each time.
Yeah,
it's going to be able to. It's going to be able to stand up to scrutiny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, look. Just say, look. You thought it was interesting. You threw the chair. You just surprised how niggas just went left, right, and up and down.
He just be trolling these niggas sometimes.
I thought it was gonna be. Valdez knows that if I see something interesting that I think is interesting, I'll just put it up. I'm not all into
because your dark twin will put LOL.
Yeah.
If you was trolling,
I would have said something. If I was actually trolling, I wasn't trolling. I thought it was interesting because what she said was true. So why would I argue with it? I wasn't arguing with what she was saying.
Yeah, he's not the one that's going to throw information in niggas' faces. That's me.
Yeah, that is you. That's you. That's my evil twin. Yeah.
You and Grinch, nigga.
And then sit back. Yeah, what? Now what?
Right.
Now what, nigga? Argue with that motherfucker.
You just BGS had a I want to watch the world burn.
It's like
moment.
when you drop big six on a domino table. You don't do it with a tap. You go bam. Big six.
And when you throw it down, you grab your dick and shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Who got it? Who got it?
Like Big Joker. Big Joker.
Yeah.
Big Joker.
Oh, Big Joker. You stand up with Big Joker, man. And stand up with a chair and throw it down.
That's like a nigga got. That's what a nigga got like 4 drill 4s in his fucking deck and Uno.
Yeah, when you got a Big Joker, it's like pulling out a razor and cutting him across his chest. Take that. Go ahead, Valdez. What you want to say?
No, I was just saying that shit. If it's spades, damn it, I'm gonna be quiet the whole time. Soon as that Big Joker come out, I'm gonna stand up and smoke.
Exactly right. And then walk to the kitchen for something to drink after you drop it.
Everybody be at the table like,
oh shit,
what am I supposed to do?
If they don't get unless the Valdez, he'll turn over the table.
I seen your video though, Andre.
Huh?
Did you post?
I seen your video, man.
I
seen it when he had first. I seen it when he first dropped it.
I told niggas to drop the link, and they just like they don't want to drop the link. Like I told James Kill, drop your link to your video, man.
Hold on, I had to get on my channel.
Okay,
channel, man.
Oh man, see, wait a minute. Your motherfuckers still have modesty. I like to do cheap plugs on BGS's shit.
Oh, he did. He dropped it. 1/3 show, patriarchy. Is that the one? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. He dropped it. Okay.
Never be afraid to do a cheap plug on a nigga's channel.
Oh, yeah, and it was pretty good though, because when him talking about the women, how they actually make about 40 something. That one lady made about 45,000, and she don't even have sex with the dude. But the whole thing is the guys, the women in there, they're responsible for those guys. So when they start getting a little bit too tipsy and overboard, I was like, that's some interesting stuff. But about that dude situation when he make all that type of money, I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
get my shit together.
The culture operated differently. It's not operated the same way as ours. So we can't put American values on.
No, you can't.
Because America's way too liberal, man, for that shit.
So BDS, do you with this information presented, right? Thank you, Andre, because I've been saying, welcome to the host club since I've been in this space, right? And nobody really got what I was trying to say. And you made it concrete. And I was just talking about this with West Coast in the dojo, right? That right now in the space, everyone's fighting to be free hosts. They don't even want to get paid by these women. They just want to fight and have access to them and give them the boyfriend experience.
Male concubines.
All you gotta do is go out and holler, man. And I tell you, wait till October, go out and holler, man. You get flooded.
I have a new tattoo that says "Fuck you, pay me."
Look, all you gotta do is make some garlic bread. By October, make some garlic bread and walk outside. Open your window, stand out the front of the with the garlic bread.
Garlic bread, nigga. We got ramen noodles.
All you did. Well, James, you're a mod, man. Just copy and paste your link, man.
Yeah, stop being modest.
Your link, man. Just copy and paste your link.
Look,
stop being modest.
I'm gonna say like this is, I'm like, it depends on what you're doing. If you just up here just talking and just doing your thing, but if you actually putting in time and effort and work, you know what I'm saying, you should get paid for it. And if you are arguing with somebody for free, then that means it's therapy for you. Like that's just me. Like I don't argue with people like on my platform. I don't negotiate with terrorists.
You have to have white teeth to argue with me. you have to have a dental plan to argue with me. If you ain't got any, there ain't no conversation.
I'm gonna be arguing with people on my platform because it's a show. That's why it's called that. Like it's a show. I'm putting forth a show. You can disagree with whatever I gotta say or whatever. Like, and I don't even hold panels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no more. Like, it's pointless because, for me personally, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't hold a panel for that particular content or whatever I deem to seem necessary. Because at the end of the day, okay, if you leave, you come back. If you leave, you come back. You still here. You didn't move. It's like going back home when you done left for a long time. You still niggas still in the same position. I'm like, nigga, that you didn't even slide your feet. It's like you're like a tree, but you didn't even grow. You just sitting there. You're actually wilting. So what are you really here for? You didn't find a solution to whatever your problem was for like 3 months, 6 months. Just like in the bar.
It might be just therapy. You need to holler instead of hollering at the walls. You holler at the internet.
There you go,
and holler back.
And that's what I treat it as. That's what I treat it as. For those that put it as content, it doesn't really. It doesn't. I like. Okay, what is he saying? Okay, let me look. Okay, cool. It's a show. No problem. I'm in the show business.
Yeah, the only time I really do that is if for my subs, you've been a sub for a while and we have a disagreement, and I think it's worthy of actually hashing it out, giving you a chance to actually speak about it. I'll do that, but that's actually more and more rare. I don't do it as much as I used to.
Oh yeah. You used to call a nigga to the carpet all the time. Yeah. I wake up 2 in the morning. BJ's going off on who this time? Oh shit. Oh yeah, that nigga.
But see, Dre, that's why you're a better man than me. You're a better man than me because if I see somebody calling me a sexist or something, I'm like, bring your bitch up on this panel. Here's the link, just so I can clown you.
I'm like, that's content in itself too. I'm like, just
like I told him, I'm gonna make some money off your ass today.
Just me in general is just like, you can say whatever you want. I don't know you. I'm probably never gonna meet you, and if I did meet you, you know what I'm saying, to a point of that magnitude, you would point me out before I would point you out. So that means you're not a fan, you're a stan.
Yeah. Right? And anybody else, if you guys really want to get in, I'm not gonna be on here all night. So if you guys
are you serious, BJ? Don't do that to us. That is so mean, sir.
It is mean. It is mean.
I got shit to do.
I got dreams, nigga. I got dreams.
You gonna see it behind your eyelids, nigga.
Well, I for one want to thank you for not doing this all night because I need to take my black ass to sleep.
What is wrong with you, man? You've been like, I mean, you've been grinding gristle, man. You've been grinding. So what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
I don't know, man. Something's wrong with me.
Yeah, you gotta look up, man. And you don't do like the 2-hour stream and get your ass off. You be like 4 hours. Say, God damn, this is every day.
Yeah, I gotta fucking get my ass. I gotta start taking I gotta make a schedule and stick to it. That's my problem.
But you should clip that the portion where you're having that discussion with I forget what her name is.
Oh, the chick.
Yeah.
The last chick that was up there, right?
Yeah, man. You should clip that and put that as a solo joint, man. Because that was classic, man. Because everything that we talk about black women wanted to be the executive class, man, and boss black men around. Everything that we talk about was in there but you're a man. But you're a man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do that, but you're a man.
You know it's real when you just have to tell her checkmate. I don't think it's checkmate. No, it's checkmate. All right.
Like
closing thoughts.
So wait a minute. She tried to go at you like, well, we could do that type shit.
Yeah. Well, she tried to say that if because she gave an example that if say a guy that she knows, a couple that she knows, a dude that had been. They had been married for 15 years. Dude had been working for 15 years, and somehow he got fired. And so she put him on a time limit of how long he had to find a job, right? And Valdez said, "Well, was she happy with him? No, she wasn't happy. When she said, well, she should leave him, but they're married. She ain't happy. She should leave. In fact, Valdez said, give the nigga my channel. Give him the link. I would tell him he should tell that bitch to go kick rocks.
Matter of fact, he should leave while he doesn't have a job. Take the kids and get child support.
Valdez, she was saying, but they're married though. So what?
and you know what? Valdez, you were so patient with her. You broke out literature. You gave her so many examples. You gave her analogies. You basically chopped it up forward and backwards to the point you're just like, you know what? Closing thoughts. I ain't never heard you say give somebody closing thoughts in the middle of a stream.
He was enjoying carving her up.
He
was like Hannibal Lecter with the light Chianti and fire.
You're a good sport.
That nigga was like Stewie off. That nigga was like Stewie off a Family Guy. Your tears give me.
I said, God damn, I should save this, man, because this is classic. You should cut it out and put it as a solo joint, though, man.
I'm gonna chop it up. But yeah, like BGS know when you get an opportunity like that, you gotta milk that shit for everything it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shit she was saying, and I knew the route that she was going. I knew the route she was going, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go down this path with her. But see where I messed her up, because I knew if I brought up a double standard that was in favor of women, she was gonna latch on to it. So I said, okay,
exactly.
Then when I brought back the double standard for men, she got caught up. She was like, yeah.
Checkmate.
I missed that one, man.
Well, if the nigga don't want to work, she should leave him.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to work because he's a man.
If he don't work, he don't eat, right?
He don't eat. And the nigga don't eat. So what? But he's a man, though.
So you saying you got her caught up like, what am I supposed to do?
Man, feminism fucked up our women like a motherfucker, man. It really did.
You know what's funny? The funny thing is when she started talking about her friend that went to college and said that her father wasn't able to pay for her college because he had a job that paid a certain amount of money. And when he lost that job, the jobs they were offering him were paying much less. And he didn't want to take the job. So what ended up happening is they had to live off of her mother's salary, which she was on. So my question was, okay, well, if he went out to try to find a job and they wanted to pay him much less, and you know how that is when you're a man, you don't want to take less than what you're worth.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so he probably had a plan like, you know what, I'll just hold out until I get, a job that's paying what I'm used to getting paid.
Right.
And it probably never happened.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, they had to live off of the mother's teacher salary. So I'm like, well, why aren't they mad at the mother for not getting a better paying job so that she could pay for college?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, that's because he was supposed to do it, and he was the. I said, look, if one parent isn't able to do something,
the other's supposed to pick up the slack.
Supposed to pick up the slack.
Yeah,
right.
But they're never gonna say that, like, because I told her, I said, let's say for argument's sake that he died.
Mm-hmm.
If he died, the mother would have still did the same thing. She would have still worked at that job, even though she knew it wasn't going to be enough to take care of everything. I said, but guess what? Those children would not have complained about that.
No.
They would have said, well, you know, my mother was struggling and she did what she had to do and this, that. Because my thing was this. I said, what is the mother's, what is she supposed to do? I said, she's supposed to make sure, she's supposed to secure a roof for her children, food for them, clothes on their back, and a provider if possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, yeah, but they had all of that. I said, then what the hell are you complaining about?
Mm-hmm.
Because mama can't do no wrong.
Yeah, but here's my question though. Like why is us men so underappreciated, man? When we do so much.
It's because it's called culture, man. They've never appreciated you from the time you in other words, it's been built in the culture, just like she was saying. Because he's a man. That's what they've been taught. You're supposed to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
In other words,
you're expendable.
You're expendable, and you're supposed to do it because you're a man. And if you get a man, this is what he's going to do. It doesn't matter what their circumstances are. He's still supposed to do it. It doesn't matter. You're a man. That's the way they've been taught.
That is so sexist.
That's so
sexist. Well, that's the gynocracy, but it is what it is. It's been passed down.
But that's why I said on one show, I said the way it works, if you ever wonder why the children will get upset, like if they have a father that doesn't make enough money, they'll say that he was a bum, they'll say that he didn't try. But if they have a mama that doesn't make enough money, they don't care about that. They'll still give her praise and say she did what she could with what she had. I think the reason why is because when mama does something, it's because she loves you. So if she isn't able to do more, it doesn't matter because she did what she could because she loved you. Father, he's supposed to do it. So if he doesn't do it, he's going to get talked about like a dog. If he does do it, he's not going to get praised because
he's supposed to.
He's supposed to do it.
Oh my God! It's a hard knock life for being a man. I tell you.
Damn, angry man. I didn't get the memo, man. I held my mother accountable 10 ways to Sunday.
I'm gonna tell you what. I had an ex-girlfriend whose mother was a straight up crackhead, always loving and caring about her mother. I said, your mother pretty much put a strain on everybody else in the family. Well, she still tried her best, to snort that shit.
Oh wow.
That's that long-suffering sacrificial mother archetype.
Yeah,
you talked about, right, BGS?
Yeah. That Dr. Johnson talked about. Yeah,
the mama God complex.
Yeah,
I did the best I could.
I did the best I could, and you still owe me because I did the best I could, no matter whether it is or not.
And that's where you should say, "Screw your mama."
White boys do.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's funny, Angry Man, about that interaction you had with old girl when you started breaking down the marriage vows, and she started butter sliding and just like sidestepping, like till death do you part, through sickness, through health, through like basically her whole premise was, well, if he's broken, he ain't providing, then he just needs to go. And it's like, you understand what the marriage vow, what's included in those marriage vows. And it's like, no. Say the marriage vows. Oh, we know what the marriage vows is. Like, no, let's speak them.
Say them. Say that.
Did she do a step in the name of love?
What a slide, like a mug, boy.
She did the electric slide through that thing.
Slide to the left.
she like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that part of the marriage vows, but
Valdez like, welcome to the lion's den.
You can't see it. It's deceptive.
I can't stand it.
Oh man! Somebody make that into a T-shirt.
Yeah. Anybody else want to get in that needs to get in? Because we running short. Anybody? All right.
Oh, a good question, OG. How you feel about this pandemic? Do you think it's going to get better, or it's going to get worse, or it's going to be a second wave, or what, man?
Well, the
'Cause this
second
shit's getting
wave,
on my nerves.
the second wave's coming, but the second wave's going to be mixed up with the flu. So you basically you plan for the worst and hope for the best. So nobody knows. That's how they can say. Nobody knows.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's a whatever however they compose this particular virus, they know that it's not good, but they have actually no clue about how it's going to act when it gets out into the wild. But so far, it hasn't been disastrous, but it hasn't been good. But you should have.
Okay.
But they said at minimum you're going to have at least 400,000 people dead from this thing. Before
God damn.
So am I, friend.
And we're not even talking about what they call the long haulers. In other words, the people that catch it, that semi recover from it, but they always have effects because it's not only a respiratory disease, but it's also a bloodborne disease. So it doesn't stay in the lungs. It can get into the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the brain, even down to your feet. What they call COVID toe or Kawasaki disease is actually into your bloodstream. So
God damn, niggas made super gout.
I don't know. I don't know. They're kind of hinting about what they did with this particular virus, but the thing is, they haven't completely come out with it because I don't think it was actually 100% ready to go. But the thing is, it got released and it is what it is. They have absolutely no idea what this thing will actually do.
I have a question about that. Like, if it wasn't 100% ready to go, what would the 100 do? Kill you in 2 minutes?
I don't have a clue about what it was designed for. Nobody's really saying what it's designed for. You'd have to see what the architects actually planned for it, which nobody's going to say at this point because nobody's admitting to anything. So,
and it's fucked up because it's not even weaponized.
Yeah, probably not. But the thing is, the carrier is actually doing most the bulk of the damage because coronavirus is the thing about a coronavirus versus the flu, right? Coronavirus is very hard to catch through aerosol, okay, or spread from people to people. Like SARS had like maybe I think it was like 20% death rate, but the thing is only 8 to 10,000 people ever caught it. So it's a very small population because it doesn't spread very easily, okay, like the flu does. So how do you combine a virus that's with a high kill rate, but also it can actually it's more communicable. So they split the difference. So this is what you have.
So they pretty much Voltron a fucking virus.
With a lot of what I've heard from Nicole and Chris Mortensen, who does Peak Prosperity, it looks like they did Voltron this thing together. It just add bits and pieces from here and there and for effects. And so
these are the same motherfuckers who can just cure. It makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same motherfuckers that can probably cure any disease that we even come up on, and probably have you live to 500 years. And they decide to make shit like this.
They're working on it, but yeah, and so sometimes stuff can come out of a lab by accident, and sometimes the worst shit to come out is by accident, and this is just things escape from labs all the time, but most of the times they don't do anything. But this is one time that it did, from my understanding, and that we're stuck with it. And hopefully,
did it come from a bat?
The bats were a host to it. So some things did, some things did, but they actually they actually used the bats as hosts.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thanks for stopping by, Valdez. Make that solo joint though, man, because that was classic, man. I was chomping at the bit for that one.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else want to jump in?
One more thing, OG.
Go ahead.
Do you think the government is going to pass a new stimulus and all this shit? Going to keep going back and forth?
It doesn't seem like it because Trump is not. Doesn't seem like he's for it. In fact, the last I heard, in fact, I might cut that piece out from Jack Rasmus. He's saying that Trump actually stopped talking to the Democrats about a stimulus. So the likelihood of you getting it is pretty low, unless something really, really takes a turn for the worse.
Yeah, I just listened to Jack Rasmus's latest show, and I heard that part, and I was like, I never got the first one, but I never applied for it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, y'all better hit the streets.
Lindy, thou art not shit, sir.
Never claimed to be older brother.
My black pill brethren.
Never claimed to be.
Yeah, but the Rasmus actually mentioned that he was pretty poignant. I haven't listened to what
Richard Martin
is going to say about it. But basically, Martin, Rasmus, and Wolf all tend to right now are all pretty much saying the same things, and that's kind of unusual because I pick. People think Richard Martin's on the left. No, he's actually right, very right. He loves Trump. Okay,
right, he's an old school.
Yeah, he's old
he's
school.
An old school liberal.
Yeah, he's a
classic liberal.
He's a classic liberal. He's a Austrian school liberal. He's not he's not a whatchamacallit liberal. So he's on the right. Okay. I would say Jack Rasmus is someplace in the middle. He's progressive, but he's someplace in the middle, right? Now, and I picked Wolf, because he's a Marxist. So right. I look at what Wolf says, who's on the left, what Rasmus says, who's in the middle, and what Martin says on the right. And those are my three wings. Okay. So when I actually come up with some kind of idea of what the policy is, I'll check Wolf, I'll check Martin, and I'll check Rasmus. If they all agree, okay, this sums up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because maybe I should start playing some more of the radical stuff that Richard Martin says.
He gonna scare the people straight.
No, I think I did once, and people did kind of get scared. But I should play some of the more right-wing stuff about him and the deep state and how they're actually after Trump and Spygate and stuff like that. I don't usually play that because I don't, they had bad enough with right-wing people and giving them meat to chew on. It's like, man, I don't think I want the head. But I might start playing it just because people think that Richard Martin is a left winger, and he's not. He's far from it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want BGS to come out with his own. Where he was like, you motherfuckers here. Just start off with that one.
like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah,
you motherfuckers will tell me about some goddamn Richard Martin. Look, I got you, Richard Martin, right here, motherfucker.
I might do that. I got you, Richard Martin. You think he's left wing? I got you, Richard Martin, right here, and just put out all his right wing stuff. Okay, because it is right wing stuff that you don't. I try to pick out the stuff that's helpful, and that's not too. Even with Richard Wolf, I try to make not play the stuff that's all the way onto the left. Okay, sometimes it'll surprise you, like all three of them don't like the universal basic income. None of them like it. No. Richard Wolf does. Richard Wolf hates it. It's an idea. Martin doesn't like it, and Rasmus, he doesn't think it's a good idea. But the thing is, all three of them don't like the universal basic income, which Congress is actually talking about right now. They're actually talking about a universal basic income. They really are. Believe it or not. And the test was your stimulus. Your stimulus was actually how much can people get by with as far as the universal basic income. So that was your test. I mean, a broad test. And Congress is talking about it because a lot of these jobs are going to be automated, by force. In New York City, I think I was reading, and Lindy might have saw this too. New York City has like almost 15,000 empty apartments where people are just leaving.
Yep.
Yeah. People are leaving. People are leaving a lot of they're not leaving this area, but they're leaving Chicago. Not really LA.
Not yet.
But Chicago and New York, I know. And I think Boston, they're also leaving. And they're going out into the Midwest.
The Midwest or the South or someplace like that. So
or the South, yeah. Because actually it's safer there. And real estate is cheaper.
Yeah. Because there's one guy I follow who's a tech. He actually repairs MacBooks, and he's a staunch New York City guy. I need my operation in New York City. Blah 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 blah. Even after COVID, he says I'm thinking about moving to Delaware and get me a big house and stuff like that. So he's a staunch New Yorker. Even he's talking about it. So there's going to be a change. And how big a change, I don't know. But the thing is, there's going to be a paradigm change that people are not really ready for. Really, nobody's ready for it.
No,
At the top or the bottom, this is like new territory. So, and which is scary when your betters don't know what the fuck they're doing or don't have an idea about what's next. That's when you start worrying. So if they were playing, they were up to something, they were trying to do some kind of shenanigans in the background where they're trying to push people this way or that way, then I'd be a lot more comfortable. At least they know what they're doing. Right now, in my opinion, they don't know what they're doing. I really don't believe so. I think they're guessing.
So BGS, with that, what do you think about? Because there's a lot of videos now. People are talking about famine, right? Be prepared for the next 26 weeks. The famine is coming. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, Trump and everybody else has made a damn good effort to keep food production up and stop the food. Remember with the meat packers and the farmers and all that shit that went on like in what is it, like April or something like that?
Yeah, April and early May.
Early May and April, when they talked about killing animals and plowing under crops and cutting off shutting down food plants and stuff like that. Remember Trump basically, that's the one time Trump was actually presidential. Fuck you, I don't care what you need to do, you can keep these motherfuckers open. Period. Yeah, if he said, if I have to bring in the National Guard to come and work these plants, I will. Period. That's what he said. So I have to give. There was one time that Trump acted like a fucking president. Okay, you will keep this open because the outcome of you doing this kind of stuff is too devastating. So he made sure the food production was still consistent. So you will not have a famine. Okay, now the food producers are actually taking advantage of it because they know psychologically you think it's a shortage, so they're actually charging more. But the thing is, in my opinion, there won't be a famine. If there's a famine, you'll know about it like 6 or 7 weeks before it actually happens. Just follow the food producers. If they're talking about plowing under or cutting back or dumping milk and cheese and stuff like that, getting rid of it because they can't afford to keep it around, then you start worrying about food shortages. But as long as they keep the supply chain up, they'll make sure people eat. They're giving away food. They're giving away.
I noticed that.
Go
ahead, Sensei 7.
I was saying that I started to notice that around New York, like they're actually delivering food in boxes.
Yeah.
They dropping them off at the door too.
Yeah, it's the worst thing you can do. If you want a revolution, the easiest way to do it is to have people go hungry.
Yep.
You will. Yes. The people that are starving will say they don't have anything to lose, and they will get out in the streets. It is what it is. So they will make as long as they're able, they will make sure that the food supply stays up. So far, I think people are eating pretty well. There's plenty of food out there. It might not be everything that you want, but most of the stuff that I say 90% of the stuff that you actually need is there. Now, getting stuff overseas might be a little bit more of a problem because a lot of your stuff comes from outside the country. But as far as your staples, I think you'll be able to get. What do you think, Lindy?
Big bitches still exist.
So what? Oh yeah,
big bitches still exist. So
maybe they'll go down in dress size, but they'll still exist. What Lindy?
I heard, kind of like in the scuttlebutt, that if things were to get a little desperate, then they would mobilize parts of the Navy National Guard and use their refrigeration trucks and things of that nature to basically have a mobile unit set up in each state to keep the foodstuffs coming.
Yeah.
So they would basically militarize all of that.
Yeah.
Because the last thing they want, here's the thing about people going hungry in this country with it being so heavily armed. You will have, especially in the most popular, the more populous states, people will start murdering each other in the streets. Period. This has already been gained.
Yeah.
So the last thing they want to do, and if that were to happen, all of our supposed enemies that we've basically trumped up over the last 60 years, you know, through all of our machinations, we'll just sit off the coast and wait for the dust to settle.
And basically through back channels be supplying you weapons.
Exactly. And that's already, and what I think Richard Martin already said that. Yes. A certain country has already been doing that.
Yes. Yes. We did it to them. So yes.
Yeah, we did it to them, and they're doing it back to us.
Back to us, yeah. Yeah. They're pay if there's ever an opportunity to do us a disservice, they'll take it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is, and they know it. If they slip up, it'll come back on them. So they're not surprised if foreign agents are actually being provocateurs. Of course, we do it to them; they do it to us.
Right. Exactly. And if you watch it's not really being shown in the news too much, but I still have a few people who work in CI who I come across every once in a while, and they're like, you know, they're arresting like a certain nationalities' supposed agents, like left and right, and they're just holding and they're just detaining them. And I was like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, because
that's part of the game.
It's part of the game. Yes, certain. Yeah. They show it on camera. Them just pulling up a black van and snatching the supposedly peaceful protester off the street and pulling them in. So there's no telling what that's about.
Yeah.
In certain spots.
And it's kind of funny also too, BGS. After the last stream I was on with you, I saw a black van across the highway right where I'm from my apartment. And I saw a guy with a pair of binoculars. So I went inside, grabbed my binoculars, and I also grabbed my Jericho. And I put it right in front of my binoculars. That motherfucker took his binoculars back into where he put them in and took off.
You know what? That's why I fucks with you, Wendy. That's why I fucks with you. You're not only intelligent, you're not only intelligent, but you're crazy enough to have a gun. I love you.
Gun? Come on, dude.
It's rare when me and Lindy actually talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and normally we don't do it. In this form, it's actually even rarer. Normally when me and Lindy talk, it's Patreon because we want as few ears as possible.
I might have to get Lindy's number one day.
Yeah, well, if Lindy will find you. Trust and believe.
I mean, I'm on the northwest side of Baltimore.
Yeah, that's right. You're in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, I'm over the east side. You know, we will meet in an undisclosed location, of course.
Yep.
You're probably smoking a cigar, and he'll probably knock on your window.
Actually, I've seen you a couple of times on patrol, Charles. I'm not gonna lie.
You probably have.
Lindy's not part of the 5%. Lindy's part of the 1%.
Okay. Oh, trust me.
You peeped that now.
I was trained.
I'll put it to you. I'll put it to you this way. I'm pretty sure there's certain people. When I got a little bit of notoriety, not saying I'm popular on Facebook or YouTube or nothing. I'm pretty sure when I got a little bit of notoriety, people have been checking my background. And the reason why people didn't fuck with me because they checked my background. They were like, "Yeah, let's not fuck with him."
Yeah, you know, where I worked, man, I worked around so many people that were veterans, man, that did so many things, right? And I can literally tell by the way people talk whether they've been in or they've been out. Okay, just by the way they talk.
Or if they did shit, period.
Well, you know, whether I'm talking about whether we're actually in theater. You can tell by the way they talk because I've been around so many. You know, one of the first guys I met, man, he fought one tour in World War II, and I think he fought 2 in Korea and he fought 2 in Vietnam.
Damn.
He retired as a top. I said, "Wait, man, why you do so many?" He said, "I love combat." It's okay.
You have to have that type of personality for it.
Yeah, he did. And plus, he was when he was a teenager, he was a Negro League baseball player.
Was he an Aries?
Oh, I really couldn't tell you what he was because it's been
most
so
likely.
It's
most
been
likely.
He I know he died. God, at least 20 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, but he was an old dude then. And you know, for whatever reason, man, military dudes love talking to me, man. They just walk up to me and they just, start shooting shit. You know, just blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I just soak it up. So I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys know better than me, but
it's your demeanor.
Okay.
It's your demeanor.
demeanor.
In other words, you're not going to be one of those guys to challenge somebody on something that you have no idea about. You'll actually be more accepting and receptive.
Oh yeah. You tell me more, man. I'm like, okay, I eat it up. You know, yeah, I eat it up because we're talking to so many guys that you know. These guys tell me that they had to go down to the police station because some gangbanger challenged them and he broke their wrist in like 3 places, and actually the cops come picking him up. He had to go explain himself. So those kind of guys.
which many a times I look out for them because it's an easy write-off.
It's like they had to go out and explain themselves, or I wasn't really that guy, but I know certain things, and I was in certain places, and I have certain skills, and I was just a this, that, or the other. Okay, man. Okay, man. You was just no, man. I was a medic, or I was just an engineer. Okay, man. But you were there, huh? What?
Even if you're a medic or an engineer and you sing combat, you don't brag about it. You may talk about it. Some things you will talk about, some things you won't. But it's like those guys who want to just work out, get all buff, and we're gonna kill a commie.
I mean, you get like most guys that even guys that seen combat, man, the regular Army, regular Navy, regular Marines, man, they don't have 3 black belts in 3 different. This was in like the 80s, right? They have 3 black belts in 3 different disciplines, man, and speak a couple of languages. No, they don't. No, come on. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're just an engineer, right? No,
Yeah.
okay, man. All right. Okay, man. And then they get comfortable. They tell you about them being offered contracted money to go this, there, or the other. Okay, but man, I was married, man, so I there wasn't enough money. I said, okay, man. So it's like,
okay,
yeah. All right.
When you actually meet operators, I mean real operators, they're very jovial. They're not these how the 80s action movies where it is slick badass type. They're really low key dudes. They're really jovial.
Yeah, they're really down to earth people. Yeah, so that's what I noticed. But anyway, anybody else got anything else? Because we're running short.
Last question, sir. BGS.
Yeah, go ahead.
May I have a wrench to pimp the dojo?
Oh, sure. Type your name.
Oh, you gonna pimp the dojo? Is there any mercy in this dojo?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I thought you guys do 3 hours on Man Not. So.
Gee.
Yeah.
May I have a wrench, or what can I do to earn a wrench?
Just be around long enough, man. And when
okay,
once I get to know you, and like a lot of guys I give wrenches, man, they've been around, man. I talked to them on several platforms. And a lot of times they give you a wrench. Say if you if you're a content creator, you say something interesting, you want somebody to check out your whatever it is. Okay, all right, man. Like okay, well, go ahead, type your name. I'll give you a wrench so you can drop your stuff because I trust you. So it's a matter of just trust. So if you're around long enough,
okay, cool, I got you.
Are you a content creator that I know and I've checked out your stuff? No problem. Just here's your wrench.
As a matter of fact, you want me to drop my link because I just did a live stream tonight, and my videos up.
Okay, what kind of stuff do you do, man?
Well, I just started like a month ago. My first video was about the benefits of MGTOW. Okay. My second live stream, Officer Charles was on there. It was about accountability, about being accountable. And my live stream tonight was about freeing your mind, of like doubt, disbelief, and fear. Because when you free your mind, you'll be able to do things you don't think you can do. So that's my latest one.
Okay, just type your name in.
Okay, let's put some interesting content. And plus, he was on my my earlier live stream.
Yeah, black men fought in Vietnam. Once they came back, they were kicked out of the job market. Really, most black men that went to Vietnam were never in the job market in the first place. Okay, At least not that job.
Most of them actually,
and
most of them actually created their jobs.
Yeah, basically, after the Vietnam War, and then the veterans came back, and really after the Kerner Commission in 1968, after the riots, that's when they started really opening up the jobs to black men. So if you're a Vietnam vet, right after 1968, you could probably get a job most anywhere. If you weren't high, or you weren't drugged out, or you weren't had too much problems with PTSD, you could get a job, man. I trust and believe. I know too many of them, man. Really, you could go to almost any industry. If you had any kind of skill, man, you could get a job in the 70s, in the early 80s. They were taking veterans first, so they weren't kicked out of the job market after 1968. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about the language and stuff. That's like my dad. Mm-hmm. Actually, I didn't get a chance to actually really fully talk with him and stuff because he passed when I was younger. But you know, as I was growing up, everybody was telling me about him, and a lot of stuff it didn't make sense because he was a recruiter when I was younger. Man, he was in a wheelchair. You know, he lost his legs and everything. But every time I would talk to people would always give me these like stories and stuff. Like my dad spoke 7 different languages. My sister always told me, she was like, man, nobody know what your daddy really did, but she was like, whatever he did, it was something. Cause like the guy spoke 7 different languages, and you know,
if you speak 7 different languages, you automatically gonna get bumped up to intel, man.
Yeah,
they're not gonna wait. They're not gonna waste you on the front line if you speak 7 different languages. They're not gonna do it.
Yeah, you're usually intel or you're an operator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like matter of fact, we have a new police officer. Her in the reserve, she's in military intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she was like, she always jokes with me, little pretty little thing. God damn, she fine.
Yeah. If you speak that many languages, man. Well, number one, if you speak that many languages, you probably have a degree. You're probably an officer.
Yeah.
Or they'll make you one.
Oh yeah, because you got to. There's very few people can speak that many languages and not have a degree of some type. If you got a degree and you're that educated the way you speak that many languages, especially if you're fluent in it, you're an officer, man. You're not a frontline troop.
You're not a grunt
unless you're an asshole. Okay, if you're an asshole, then they won't take you. But thing is, but even then, they're going to actually make use of it. The army, the military. I tell you about the military. You think the military people are stupid? They're not. They're very efficient. If you can do something, they take people that can't do shit and get them to do stuff, make them productive. So if they find a person that is productive, that knows some stuff, whether they like it or not, they're gonna stick that person in where they need them, and they don't need them holding a rifle and marching through mud. They're gonna put him where they need him, which is why I didn't want to go to the Air Force. I wasn't gonna be stuck in I didn't want to get stuck in no silo, man, in no bomb silo in North Dakota. I want to go to the Philippines. Well, I can't guarantee you go to the Philippines. I don't want to go, man. I don't want to get stuck in no bomb silo in North Dakota where it's so cold, or Alaska.
Yeah, that's like one of my friends.
And once you're in GI, you don't have no rights as a GI, man. You go where you're told.
Yeah.
And that's what they told me. You're gonna go where you're told.
You're a voluntold.
You are a general issue. Your property, sir. That's first thing. It says that right in the contract. You are, once you sign this and are swearing in, you are property of the United States government, United States of America. You are property.
Federal property. Yeah. BGS. I put my link in the back chat. It wouldn't let me do it on the channel.
I said type something and I will mod you. Did you not ask to be modded, sir?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. My bad.
I thought I said that. Did I not? Did I say something different? I said type your name in the chat and I will mod you because you asked to be modded, right?
Yeah, I just typed something.
Okay.
Hey, BGS, be kind to the fellow Baltimoreans.
What I'm saying is, I thought it was clear, man. maybe it's the Mercury's in retrograde or something, man. And I'm a Gemini, and everything I'm saying is getting into the airwaves and it's getting actually bobbled up, and people are actually hearing me differently.
These guys, they're trying to be a little humble, BJ.
No. Basically, he said, what does it take to get a wrench? And I asked him what I took to get a wrench. And he asked me, he said, well, I did drop this, that, and the other. I said, well, type your name in the chat and I'll mod you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I said, but
I heard that. My bad. No, you did say that. You was like, if I'm around a little longer, so that's what I thought you meant.
No, I said, okay, unless you're a content creator, and then you tell me what you have. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And also another thing you need, thick skin.
Dojo is requesting for subs, so their link is right there. The young millennials actually doing the damn thing. So if you got time, just go over there and go ahead and hit that sub button. Get them up to 100 subs.
Yeah.
Bro, Genius, you've been gone a long time, man. You're gonna have to wait. Mind me up. If you had to see, nigga, you left and came back. You were one of my fucking day ones, man, and you bounced. I don't know where you bounced to. I don't know if you went to the dark side or what, man, but you bounced and came back. So you're gonna have to wait.
We've been chopping it up with Broke Genius, actually.
Yeah, but Broke Genius is one of my day ones. I remember Broke Genius when he was building the house in fucking Chicago. Because you remember this story he told me about his father was from Nigeria. And he married his mom in Chicago. So I know him, man. He been around a long time, but he bounced. He's just getting back. So he gotta wait. I know he is. Yo. Like I said, you went to the dark side. You gotta wait, man. Jail. You ain't shit.
Drop the hammer.
From Ghana, yeah. Yeah, from Ghana. Yep. I remember him. Anybody else?
Man.
What? Who's that? Want me to answer a question? What's the difference between? I think it was Michael. What's the difference between African slavery and American slavery? Chattel slavery was a function of industrialization, right? In other words, the capitalist industrial thought: how can you maximize your profits, right? Regardless of human suffering, right? That's capitalist, raw capital, the laissez-faire capitalism, right? So basically, it was more advantageous. It would actually make more money if they kept the product of their slaves, right? In other words, if you had a kid, the kid was born in slavery. It's actually more advantageous and actually will actually make you more money if that happened. So that's how come chattel slavery is different from any other form of slavery on the planet, because even European slavery was a indentured servitude model, as was Africa. That was traditional. In other words,
like serfdom.
Serfdom is not. Serfdom is based on it's almost like sharecropping. Sharecropping is serfdom, right? Where you actually work the landowner's share of property, and you raise crops. You raise a portion for him. You raise a portion for yourself. Okay.
Yeah, basically,
you take the profits of whatever that is, right?
Where they get the term landlords from.
That's where you get the term landlords from. So basically, serfdom was sharecropping. Basically, that's what we call sharecropping, right? Indentured servitude, you were a slave for a specified amount of time, from either 7 years or 10 years, depending on the area, right? And this is
treated with way more respect.
Even if you read the American Slave Codes, there was a debate between Jefferson and between the Federalists and the Democratic, whatever the Democratic Republicans, whatever, I think Democratic Republicans, about keeping traditional serfdom, or not serfdom, but traditional indentured servitude as slavery versus the chattel slavery. They really didn't believe it was against their European morals to actually do that, because a lot of these serfs coming over, they had done indentured servitude and that kind of stuff, and it was against their ethics. So they had to change the laws and change the ethics to actually work somebody like that. Number one, 20 hours a day till they're dead, which is basically immoral, and also to keep them perpetually into slavery. Okay, those two things had to be changed. Those two things under Britain, under the British law, most of the time that was illegal. I mean, they made variances for like South Carolina and Georgia and Virginia, because it was because those crops are actually labor intensive, kind of hard to grow, and those states would be non-viable if you took that away from them. So they kind of made an allowance for it, and they hard-coded it into these states, right? That they actually do it. So when America actually became a country, they actually hard-coded these things into the Constitution, because the southern states would not have joined if they couldn't have this allowance, because the southern states most of the southern states are fucking swamps, man, and you can't grow shit unless it's that's like they can grow rice, sugar cane, cotton, and some
Indigo.
indigo and some tobacco, because those are kind of crops that actually grow in the area. But thing is, you got things like mosquitoes and diseases and bugs and all kind of stuff that would actually shorten your lifespan, right? Really, really difficult work, right? And the only way to do that, the only way to actually grow those crops is with slavery. It's the only way to do it. And the only way to make in fact, once slavery got going, those states actually made you more money than every place else, right? So because the main export was cotton, sugar, indigo, all that kind of stuff, right? That's where your money was being made. So thing with slavery, so basically it was like a combination of two. Okay, we know we don't like it, but guess what? That's where the money is. So we're gonna allow it, and we're gonna keep these states in the union because they're making the money. Okay. And so there's a lot of stuff that's mixed into it. That's why I love this book. I mean, he goes into mind-numbing detail with this shit.
Which book is that?
The American Slave Coast. Because I thought it was going to be like a light read. Man, I'm listening to this. This shit was like 30 hours of just listening. This long ass book. Okay. But he goes into detail. This motherfucker hates Jefferson. He called Jefferson a coward.
Well, also, if you read Jefferson's on the notes for the state of Virginia, Jefferson goes deeply into his rationalization for why they divorced themselves from the European mores as far as serfdom and slavery and everything.
Yep. I mean, it comes down to money.
Yeah.
Hey, Lindy, I'm going to put my email address in there. Whenever you feel inclined, hit me up.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, Michael, I hope
it's in the back chat.
Gotcha. I'll send you mine. I'll put mine in there too.
Yeah, basically, but Michael, I hope that answers your question. Was it William? Yeah, I think it was William Webster. I hope that answers your question.
See, I think people get a really weird concept of slavery due to the fact that none of us were alive when it happened, but yet something like that, unlike surfing, you still feel to this day.
Yeah, you still have. In fact, there's one movie that the dude that played Lawrence in Insecure. He's actually in a movie talking about the very same thing about indentured servitude that still goes on in Africa, where the family will actually sell their children into indentured servitude for a period of time. Sometimes it's going to school, sometimes if they're broke, but things they still do it. The practice is still going on, so it didn't end. It might not be prevalent as it once was, but it still goes on.
Are you treated the same as a slave, or?
You know what? I'm probably not, because you don't need slaves to actually do the same kind of hard labor that they once did, because you do have modern tools that actually kind of make it easier. So you probably don't need as many or them to work as hard. But I really don't know. I haven't really checked it out. But he actually made a couple of movies about certain people being sold into indentured servitude that way by their families.
It's kind of like being an E1 in the military.
Pretty much.
Okay.
For a long period of time.
Okay, an E1 indentured servitude.
You're shitted upon, but at least we got to keep you, feed you, give you some respect.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give you a little bit of pocket money, and you get a little bit of free time, but only when we say you have free time.
Yeah. That you are. Most people don't read that part of the contract. I remember reading that, man. It said, okay, you sign this, you will become general issue. You become property. I said, damn, they actually say this? But it's in the contract.
That's why I call you a GI.
Yeah. I mean, I would never serve, but I've been close. Lindy probably knows. So Lindy knows I've been close.
Yep.
I mean, closer than people really think, and higher up than people really think.
Yeah, I was close.
Yeah, I mean, I was. I'll put it this way: if I say I was one letter from a congressman away, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
How high up? As far as
that's close.
Huh?
That's pretty damn close.
Yeah, one letter away. That's all I needed. I mean, that's really if I had somebody to talk to, then it might have been different. Because how do you get a poor kid from L.A. From the hood of L.A. I don't know shit, man. My parents don't know shit. I'm just a bright kid, man. That just gets shuffled from one place to another because they say I'm smart.
Oh man, we would have majored off.
So what?
We'd have made your ass. Your ass would have been like a high ranking general by now. We would have pushed your ass at OCS.
What I'm saying is with the letter, then I'm not gonna say which one, because partly I don't want to brag, partly it's it's partly regret too, because I had an opportunity, and at the time I thought, but then as I look back and said, okay, Negro, you had an opportunity, so you have nothing to complain about. So I don't complain about anything that I've ever done because I've had my opportunities. So
I took the Cyrus test yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I feel decent about it. I'm still on this list though, so it's a good possibility I can get promoted off this list. So if they don't stop the promotion, but I'm hoping. Like shit. It was funny. I was talking to she who will not be named. She got promoted because she was higher on the list.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing the whole time because they made her 09. Which 09 is a term which means that's the shift commander, the lieutenant, or the acting lieutenant. So how the fuck you're 09 your first week you get promoted? That's funny. And she had to deal with flooding because we had a lot of very bad rainstorms. And she was like, I'm so burnt out. Of course, because you got to run a whole fucking shift. You got to run a district. I said, remember when you've been doing all that complaining? Yeah. See how that shit comes back on you? Judge not, lest thou be judged, huh? That's why I get promoted. I'm like, I'm not saying shit.
All right. Anything else? We're getting ready to bounce.
That's it. Always a pleasure, folks.
Yeah. Thank you, Lindy, for stopping by.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's just like I'm sure we'll have some kind of contact in the next. We didn't say too much. I don't think we did too much damage this time around. We didn't say too much. Just general stuff. Yeah, normally we go behind closed doors. We might be told with something. Well, how close to the line do we think we should get?
Like I'm gonna have to be like, well, do I need to like pack a good pair of boots and BDUs and get as much ammo as I can get?
What kind of orange jumpsuit? Besides orange jumpsuit, do I want to? The two people I talked to that I have to ask how close do the line want to get is you in DC.
Okay, oh yeah, I when he's on, I don't say anything because he's still in the game.
He's still in the game, yeah.
He's still in the game.
I mean, what are you doing out here? He said, "Man, we just got to let some of this stuff out. That's all." I said, "Okay," but you guys know where the line is. But he told me a couple times, "Hey man, you're getting too close." That's all right, man. But DC was listening to me before I was actually on YouTube. So I said, "Oh, you way back?" He said, "Yeah, I've been listening to you for like 17 years, man." I said, "Damn, all right." So,
wow. Yeah. I'd catch you every once in a while. It's like, that voice sounds familiar.
Yeah. I'm sure I popped up, on somebody's radar, depending on what I've said. At what particular time I've said it. And I'm sure I popped up on people's radar. So so on YouTube, I'm just exposed. It's like, okay. So I know, I always tell guys, if you're going to say something, if you're going to do any kind of threats against the United States, something like that, this is not the channel to do it on, man. Okay.
Yeah, do it on some white boys channel.
Where they don't really care. But hey,
right.
If they actually have a red flare, say I'm over here. That's stop some guys. Hey man, don't. Hey man, I know where you're getting ready to go. Don't lose your job arguing with me, man. Just pipe down, and you're right. I'll let you can win this one, but I don't want you to get fired. I've had to say that to a few people, man. Don't get fired. Just you won the argument. You don't have to prove anything.
Right, and I know, black folks need to stop that you know, went into the dick measuring contest shit, and I don't know, just need to stop that foolishness altogether. There's too few of us. But then also too, man, a lot of these white guys who just doing kind of like open source sort of not really fringe, but what they call it, alternative news outlets on the web.
Oh yeah.
They do a lot of good work,
Yeah,
and
Epoch Times.
they put out a lot of information.
Yeah,
They put out a lot of information.
Epoch Times. I listen to Joshua Crossroads when we talk about China. Yeah, you find you have to take it with a grain of salt, but you know, if you willing enough to actually go back and check their sources and actually cross reference it, a lot of times they're right on the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes you disagree with people. The thing is, you disagree with their assessment, but their facts are accurate.
Right.
I always say your facts are accurate, but your conclusion is fucked up.
Yeah.
So you a lot of times they come up with actually accurate facts, but they're
on the right train but wrong track.
Basically they're on the right track, but they it's taking them in a destination. They actually misguided about their destination. Yeah, dude, your facts are right, man, but where you trying to go with these facts don't add up.
Right.
That's what it
and Wendy, to your point about the phallus measuring, it's hard when the obsession has been baked into the culture.
Yeah, I know, but
shout out to the man not.
Negroes need to stop this foolishness, man. For real. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these cats laugh at our asses. They laugh at our asses all the time with the whole dick measuring contest and all this other shit. Because that's the one reason why black dudes, for the most part, are kind of stuck where we are. Because everybody's guys like, oh, my dick's bigger than yours and all this other shit, and you know, I get all the bitches and all this other shit, and they're like, so what? There's plenty of bitches. There's more bitches than you.
Yeah,
what are you fighting for? What are you fighting over?
You've been actually brainwashed into thinking that way.
Yeah.
So you know, you've been brainwashed into thinking that. Where'd you get it from? Your mama? Listen to how they talk about you. What do they measure you by? The size of your wallet and size of your dick.
Yep.
And what do you talk about? Size of your wallet and size of your dick.
Size of your wallet and size of your dick.
Those two things. You think that's a coincidence?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but you know.
Yeah. They laugh and disagree, and then 3 months later, 6 months later, BGS, you were right. Right about what? Remember when you said, remind me. I said, oh yeah. Oh, you finally got it, huh? Okay. Next. It's not even a big deal anymore.
Right.
Anybody else, man, before we sign off?
Well, I'm gonna give another hater their wings, right? So at the dojo, we don't look at you as just a master teacher. We'll address you as Grandmaster BGS.
You hate your wings. Ain't no overtime, Art. Ain't no overtime. You know, I did enough this week. So last thoughts, Lindy. Or you all done?
I'll just say good night.
I appreciate you, man.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All right. Sheet, anything?
Hey man,
nope.
I'm good.
You good? Yeah. All right. William Webster, you asked me a whole bunch of questions, man. You should have asked that stuff at the beginning of the hangout. Does American culture comes from European culture? Obviously, it comes from European culture. You're in a white-dominated society. Where do you think it comes from? They would tell you it comes from European culture. They used to teach you European history, man. They probably might not do it anymore, but yeah. I mean, if you read Greek literature and Roman literature and that kind of stuff, all your stuff comes from Europe. All the American culture comes from Europe, period. It's not even a question. What was the book, BGS, and the author? Author of what? You're talking about the African, it was the American Slave Coast. I can't remember the author. What's my shoe size? And my shoe size is none of your business. Okay. My thoughts on Nick Cannon. What about him? Nick Cannon opened his mouth, so he tried to backtrack. He thought he had fuck you money, and he doesn't. That's about all I had to say about Nick Cannon. Anything? Last shot, and I'm out. All right, folks. Let me go to sleep.